Memory leaders of our academic community, distinguished statesmen, members of the armed forces, on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, I welcome us to the 2026 Foundation Day Lecture. We have signaled that His Excellency will join us in some seconds. So I'd like to give our indulgence to minimize going to and fro as we are just about to start. Let me seize this opportunity to recognize statesman Basharun Seyide Aruwofa. He was 87 some years back and is still I recognize Oba Yosemawe of Ondo and Paramount ruler of Ondo Kingdom, ably represented by Professor Sunday Ogunduile, Chairman of Ondo Kingdom, and former Vice Chancellor OAU State Okitipupa. We welcome you, sir. I recognize Professor Depo Adeyewa, former Vice Chancellor, Regiment University. We recognize you, sir. All our former principal officers, those who have contributed in no small measure in the development of our great university, we recognize you. Shall we ride for the procession of the Vice Chancellor? Shall we be all? then Amafuta anthem.
Music playing.
As we know the applause for the best University of Technology in Nigeria. Your Excellency, Madam Vice Chancellor, in the last 15 weeks, 68 universities have competed for the best university of STEM in Nigeria with 168 individuals taking part. The final is scheduled for this Sunday, and the finalists are students from the Obafemi Awolowo University and from the Federal University of Technology. It's on that note, on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, that I welcome you to the 2026 Foundation Day Lecture of our great citadel of academic excellence. The title, Leadership and Organizational Performance, Technology as a Driver, will be delivered by no other person than His Excellency Honorable Orimisan Aiyedatiwa, Governor of Ondo State. Let's go for the applause for the guest lecturer. In tandem with the established tradition of this great university, this ceremony will be presided over by the very first female Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Aiyedatiwa Oladije. With our Vice Chancellor, our other principal officers and deans of our various schools, we have with us the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, Professor Timothy Amos. The Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development, Professor Samuel Oluyamo. The Registrar, Chief Staff of our institution is Mr. Charles Olusegun Adeleye. The Bursar, Chancellor of the Exchequer is Mr. Peter Oladapo Ishadiwa. Our librarian is Dr. Robert Akiade Awoyemi. While the acting provost is Professor Biodun Olamuji. The deans of our various schools are led by the Dean School of Computing, who is also the Chairman Committee of Deans, Professor Boniface Kayode Alishi. The Dean School of Agriculture and Agricultural Technology is Professor Olabode Thomas Adebayo. The Dean School of Basic Medical Sciences is Professor Akin Olalekan Lawal. Dean School of Infrastructure, Minerals and Manufacturing Engineering is Professor Christopher Oluwatomi Akindele. Dean School of Electrical Systems Engineering is Professor Adegoke Oladipo Benuti. The Dean School of Health and Mineral Sciences is Professor Aiyedatiwa Oluleye. Professor Joseph Omoni Bashorun is the Dean School of Environmental Technology. The Dean School of Logistics and Innovation Technology is being represented here today by Dr. Taiwo Aiyedatiwa. Dean School of Life Sciences is Professor Mukhtar Kolawole Oladiboye. The Dean School of Physical Sciences is Professor Femi Barnabas Adebola, while the acting Dean of Basic Clinical Sciences and the Dean that controls the largest contingent of forces on this campus, Dean Student Affairs Division, Professor David Oladiwajo. I'd like to recognize His Excellency Dr. Olayide Owolabi, the Deputy Governor of Ondo State. We welcome you, sir. We recognize Honorable Justice Olusegun Aiyedatiwa Odushola, the Chief Judge of Ondo State. You are welcome, my daughter. Honorable Kolawole Babatunde is the APC Chairman. You are welcome, sir. While the Chief of Staff is Prince Shegun Omojuwa. We welcome you, sir. Mr. Bayo Philip is the Head of Service. You are welcome, sir. We also welcome Dr. Olukayode Ajibo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. We welcome Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. We welcome Honorable Afolabi Adesoji, Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, as well as Professor Onomawo, Professor Bekele Ajibefon, Honorable Commissioner for Education and Technology. Permit me to just welcome some of the leaders of Futa's academic community. I will use Emeritus Professor Adebisi Balogun, former Vice Chancellor, as the point of contact. We welcome you, sir, our former Vice Chancellor, Professor Adebisi Balogun. We also welcome elder statesman Bashorun Sende Arubofa. We also welcome Professor Debo Adeyewa, former Vice Chancellor, Redeemers University. I'd like to pay obeisance to natural rulers who are already in our midst. I welcome Oba Abiodun Aderemi Adefeiti, the Alana of Ilana of the Cabinet. In representation of Dr. Victor Iladejo, the Osebawe of the permanent ruler of Ondo Kingdom, represented by Professor Chief Sunday Ogunjuyile, Chairman of Ondo Kingdom. You are welcome. To kickstart this program, I'd like to bring to the podium the very first Vice Chancellor of our university, a cerebral leader and leader of substance, our Vice Chancellor, to deliver address. Madam Vice Chancellor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Honorable Dr. Orimisan Aiyedatiwa, Your Excellency, Deputy Governor of Ondo State, distinguished members of the National Assembly here present, distinguished Speaker and members of the Ondo State House of Assembly, top government functionaries here present, cabinet members of the Ondo State government, royal fathers here present, my lords, spiritual and temporal, distinguished members of the governing council, members of the Futa Akure Partnership Forum, our revered elder statesman, Baba Seinde Arogofa, the former Vice Chancellor of Futa, Emeritus Professor Isi Alugo, Deputy Vice Chancellors and other principal officers of Futa, former principal officers of Futa and other universities here present, visiting members of the universities, tertiary institutions in Ondo State, deans and directors here present, members of the University Senate, Congregation and Convocation, chairman and members of Futa Akure Community Partnership Forum, national president and members of Futa Alumni Association Worldwide, president, Futa Student Union and members of his cabinet, friends of the university, members of staff and students, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I feel greatly honored and privileged to welcome everyone to the event of today, the 2026 Foundation Day Lecture of our dear university. I welcome with utmost regard our guest lecturer, His Excellency Honorable Dr. Orimisan Aiyedatiwa, the Governor of Ondo State. We cannot thank you enough, sir, for your Excellency's abiding interest in the advancement of Futa and by extension, advancement of education. It is most fitting on this occasion to stress that Futa values collaboration with government at various levels. At different times, particularly since I came on board as the Vice Chancellor of Futa, we had pledged host to these eminent personalities and political office holders. His Excellency Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, DCFR, was here on our campus. His Excellency Principal Adebusi, Deputy Governor of Osun State, was here with us. Dr. Adeto Okayode, SANCOM, former Minister of Power, former Minister of Labour, was here. We pledged host to Dr. Jimon Ibrahim, CFR, former Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Minister for Communication and Digital Economy, Dr. Osuti Gani, was here with us. The Minister of State then for Youth Development and now the current Minister of Youth Development, Mr. Ayo Olawade, was here on our campus. Dr. Olumomitunji, the Minister of Interior, was here on our campus. Dr. Maruf Olatunji Alausa, the Minister of Education, was here on our campus. Professor Suwaiba Said Ahmad, the Minister of State for Education, was also here with us before now. And just yesterday, we also hosted the Executive Secretary of the NDDC, Honorable Federal Adena Abebuke. It will not be out of place to seize this opportunity of this August occasion to thank Your Excellency, sir, for various interventions that have advanced the cause of our dear university visa. We acknowledge with much gratitude Your Excellency's kind intervention in the conversion of the erstwhile State Teaching Hospital to Futa Teaching Hospital. It was a giant leap towards consolidating our MPS program and healthcare delivery in the Sunshine State. It bears noting that after the conversion of the State Specialist Hospital to Futa Teaching Hospital, His Excellency magnanimously executed the water project for adequate water supply in that noble institution. We are grateful. We would also like to thank Your Excellency for the beautiful job done on the linked road between Futa South Gate and Ilesha Road. May good Lord continue to bless you with health and strength to actualize all your great dreams for the good people of Ondo State. For us in Futa, that road has made life easy for us. We therefore say that we have keyed into our ease agenda of Mr. Governor. It is important for me, on behalf of the entire Futa community, to thank His Excellency for identifying strongly with us. Several alumni of Futa have been appointed into the cabinet of Ondo State government. The most prominent being our own Professor Aiyedatiwa, the Honorable Minister. We appreciate His Excellency's kind gesture and we sincerely look forward to more opportunities and appointments. Futa and Futarians are ready to serve our community. Futa continues to gain prominence as a leading research-intensive university. Feel the impact of our research endeavors. As the saying goes, charity begins at home. In June 2025, Futa spearheaded the maiden colloquium of tertiary institutions in Ondo State, themed Fostering Collaboration Among Tertiary Institutions in Ondo State for Sustainable Development. We took leadership to direct the entire tertiary institutions in Ondo State. It would be an understatement to say that our relationship with Ondo State government has been very positive and profitable. Still, in view of the dynamic nature of our society, needs keep. Number one, security on and around our campus. Our campus has been relatively safe, but we do not want to take things for granted. We humbly request His Excellency to deploy our Montego Corps into Futa and its environment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to present a brief citation of our amiable and Futa-friendly governor of the Sunshine State. Mr. Governor, may I request that you please rise while I present the citation. Dear guest speaker of today was born Lucky Orimisan Aiyedatiwa to Mr. Titus Akande and Mrs. Rosanna Aiyedatiwa of blessed memory on 12th January 1965. He had his elementary education at St. Peter's Primary School of Benla, in Ilaje, local government area of Ondo State between 1970 and 1976. He proceeded to Ikosi High School, Ikosi High School, Lagos State, where he obtained his secondary school certificate in 1982. Thereafter, he attended Lagos State College of Education, now attended College of Education, and obtained Nigerian Certificate of Education in Economics and Government in 1986. After a stint as classroom teacher and diversification into business, he went for further studies and obtained advanced diploma first in business administration at the University of Ibadan in 2001, graduating with a distinction. Postgraduate certificate in business management, chief executive program in business administration from Lagos Business School, Pan Atlantic University in 2009, and Masters of Business Administration from University of Liverpool in 2013. Prior to establishment of his own business in 1996, he worked with several organizations, including Sura Assembly Plant at Papa Lagos, Universal Pharmaceutical Supply Company, also in Lagos, Global Trust Limited, Gagada Lagos, and Bismarck Limited, Lagos Island, Lagos State, as General Merchandise Manager 1994 to 1996. Before venturing into politics, Aiyedatiwa was a business development professional and a successful businessman with interest in marketing, human resource management, forex trading and management, construction, real estate and hospitality. He was the MD and CEO of Blue World Group of Companies in 1996, which included Blue World Nigeria Limited, a trading company, Blue World BBC Nigeria Limited, the Central Bank of Nigeria licensed foreign exchange trading company, and Blue World Safety Travels and Tours, an IATA licensed travel agency and logistic company. He has held many positions in social and professional bodies, some of which are National Public Relations Officer for Association of the Road Change Operators of Nigeria between 2004 and 2010. He was chairman of Southwest Zone of the same association between 2010 and 2011, trustee and treasurer of the League of Professionals. He was president of Chief Executive Class 18 of Lagos Business School Alumni Association, an executive member of Lagos Southwest Network of University of Liverpool Global Alumni. He was conferred doctoral degree honoris causa in public administration by Adekunle Ajasi University at Ondo State in 2024. He was sworn in on February 24, 2025 as governor Ondo State after an unprecedented landslide victory at the governorship election. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to most respectfully invite to the podium the #1 citizen of the Sunshine State, our honorable President Governor, Honorable Dr. Orimisan Aiyedatiwa, as he presents the 2026 Foundation Day lecture titled Leadership and Organizational Performance Technology as a Driver. Can we give Mr. Governor a round of applause?
Thank you. First of all, let me acknowledge one who is the most excellency, which is God Himself. Giving us this day for all of us to be here, alive in health and in strength, to be part of this Foundation Day ceremony. All of you are very important. Everyone that is here. That is why you've been invited to be here to be part of this event. But I cannot acknowledge every one of you by your name and status. So just permit me to use very few personalities as a point of reference to all of you. And I say good morning to all of you. Let me quickly acknowledge the Deputy Governor of Ondo State who is here in our list. My honorable Deputy Governor, Dr. Aiyedatiwa. Also in our midst is the Chief Judge of Ondo State, my noble Lord Justice Aiyedatiwa. Thank you for coming. The Chief of Staff, Mr. Governor, is also here. Prince Governor. The chairman of my great party, the party that gave me the platform to be the governor of this wonderful state, All Progressive Congress, Ondo State Chapter, Honorable Kola Babachide, acknowledge your presence. All my cabinet members that are here, I acknowledge all of you. Let me use the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology as a point of contact to all of you. Professor Antibefun Dekele, I acknowledge your presence. Your own brother that I stole from you. The head of service is also here. Thank you for coming. Mr. Bayo Phillips. The members of Ondo State Assembly are also here. They are large numbers. I welcome every one of you. Thank you also for coming. All members of Ondo State House of Assembly. All chairmen of boards, contractors, agencies that are here, other government functionaries, the Commissioner of Police, you are here. I acknowledge your presence. Thank you so much for what you are doing in the state. Our host today, the leadership of this great citadel of learning, Federal University of Technology, Akure, under the leadership of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Aiyedatiwa. I'm always very proud to call her my friend. Don't joke with her, she's a friend of the government. Other members of the leadership team of this university, long list. But let me use the register as a point of reference to every one of you. Mr. Charles Gadele, I acknowledge your presence, and every other leaders of this university, the deans, all the professors. You know, it's an academic environment. We have a lot of professors. I acknowledge all the professors in the house. Our royal fathers are also here. And I can see our Royal Majesty of Abiodun and we come to Alara of Ghana. After your presence. Thank you so much. And all other cabinets that are represented here by some of your chiefs and those who have asked to represent you. I welcome all of you. And I pay my respect and regards to every one of you. One of our elder statesmen is here. I want to contact one of you. Yes. One of you. Yes. the incoming ransom account of the incoming all lecturers and members of the non-teaching staff of Futa acknowledge your presence, every one of you. All students of Futa and students of Futa Secondary School, you are part of the great Nigerian student. Great Nigerian student! Greatest of the greatest! Greatest go-go! Greatest back! Kulu-kulu! God bless you. All friends of Futa that we regard as distinguished guests, men of the press, men and women of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Now it is a great privilege to speak within an academic environment such as this, Federal University of Technology Akure, on this occasion of your Foundation Day. This is a great privilege for me. Among many scholars, Ondo State is known for education. We have a lot of professors, doctors, and academicians in this state. And among many of us, have been chosen to the one to deliver this year's foundation lecture. It's a thing of honor for me. On this day, an institution and organization, if you like, established, foundation stone laid. Definitely, there is no institution that is without leadership. At the same time, leadership team will be put in place that will decide over the institution. And many leaders have come and gone, but today we have at the edge of one leading institution, day-to-day activity, who has extended his invitation to me, Vice Chancellor, Professor Olamide Olatunji. Thank you so much. University, as an institution or organization, if you like, occupies a unique position in society. They are not many institutions for the transmission of knowledge only. They are centers of intellectual reflection, such as we are going to have this morning. Innovation is a universal technology, talk about innovation. And the formation of future leaders. Here, future leaders are being formed, being trained. That's why they say the students of the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. So institutions such as this combine all of this together, not just transmission of knowledge. The university is also the place where students occasionally discover will be there before, so that assignments somehow become due much faster. You know, you are given an assignment and the date, deadline. Just find out that it comes so fast than you expect. It's also like the lecturer's calendar that always seems to move faster than the student's calendar itself. And for us, in a university like this, Place of Technology in the city of Akure, and Ondo State, you won't quickly discover students are sometimes the most technologically advanced people in the city, especially when it comes to locating where the strongest Wi-Fi signal is because of assignments, education being driven with technology as well. You look for where you have the strongest signal. Only the student I will tell you because deadlines are closed and you need to hook up to the internet to solve and get materials. So let me thank once again the leadership of this institution for the honor given to me to begin. In discussing the subject, or a topic if you like, leadership and organizational performance, technology as a driver. I can also put it this way that leadership, organizational performance, and technology in a rapidly changing world. It's the same thing, just a matter of words. Because the key words here, leadership, organization, performance, technology, and you can also add followers, because you cannot talk about leadership without followers. These are the key words. So in discussing the subject of leadership and organizational performance, it is important to begin by, first of all, situating the concept of leadership within the broader body of scholarly thought. Because different scholars have looked at leadership from different disciplines. Leadership has been studied extensively across multiple disciplines, including management studies, which is one of my areas, psychology, other people, areas, political science, I've also been there, and organizational behavior. I've been an MDCO also. So all of these areas, they have looked at the concept of leadership. And because today we are in an academic environment, we have students, we have researchers, we will look at the concept of leadership from the perspectives of all of these scholars, the different scholars that at one time or the other that have examined this concept of leadership. And from the postulations of all of these scholars, leadership was seen as one of the intangible resources that was noted in management interaction that was responsible for organizational or institutional performance and sustainable success. This was summed up in the work of Peter Nordhaus, his first book in 2010, and the revised edition in 2022, and also 2012, a peer review of Sam, Taha, and Baka also spoke in this direction. So across disciplines, scholars generally agree that leadership may be defined as the process by which an individual influences a group of people towards the achievement of the common objectives. This widely accepted definition is articulated by leadership scholar Peter G. Nordhaus, whose work remains one of the most influential texts in modern leadership studies or theories. In other words, leadership is seen as the ability of an individual to influence, motivate, and enable others to contribute towards the effectiveness and success of an organization they are part of. Leadership also involves transactional events that exist between leaders and followers, or management and employees, if you like, in a given context, whereby leaders affect followers and followers affect leaders also, in order to achieve a common organizational goal. And according to DAB 2008 Standards and DAB 2011, they define leadership as a process of reciprocal influence. Reciprocal influence, very important, please. Both leader and follower is a reciprocal relationship or influence between leaders and followers to accomplish shared purpose and to bring about consequential friends or organizational relevant change. And if you look at the position of these scholars, they've been already envisioning, that society is not static, it's rapid, it's fast changing. An organization must be in position or build the capacity to be able to adapt to change. So if you look at the definition to just moving from one position to the other as time demands. So relevant change was added to this other definition by Sanders and David 2011. Now, in all of these definitions of leadership, there are two fundamental elements that are so clear. First, leadership is fundamentally about influence rather than coercion or force, if you like. That is, effective leadership does not rely on force, but the ability to inspire, persuade, and mobilize individuals towards shared objectives. And the second element is that leadership is a process rather than mere position. Yes, you occupy leadership position, but it's not just a position, it's also a process. It unfolds through continuous interaction between leaders and followers within an organizational context. So there is interaction, reciprocal. So two elements, a process and also an influence, or influence and a process. Other elements that have been discovered by other scholars that are essential to leadership effectiveness construct are: one, task focus. Every leader focus on task what is task to be done for you to achieve the set goals. People focus because you have other people that are going to work with you, so you have to focus on people. Then development focus because they have to be performance, they have to be success that must also be sustained. One thing is to achieve, to perform. Another thing is for you to sustain that performance, the level of success that has been attained. Therefore, understanding leadership therefore requires us to examine not only the leader, but also the broader institutional environment within which leadership takes place. See, leadership does not exist in a vacuum. So, there has to be a space for it to exist. So, and that is what we call the institutional environment. Just like we have here, the University of Technology, an educational environment, university community. So that is the environment. So we must also study the broader institutional environment within which leadership takes place. So all of these are embedded if you are looking holistically about leadership. Now, moving forward, let us quickly look at some leadership theories. We'll run through them, won't take much time. How leaders emerge. It's also very important. You cannot be talking about leadership without looking at some of these theories. Scholars have not sought to understand how leadership emerges. Now, one of the earliest approaches was the trait theory of leadership. This theory suggests that certain individuals possess natural characteristics that dispose them to leadership roles. And these characteristics often include intelligence, confidence, determination, integrity, and sociability. So the early leadership scholars such as Thomas Carl advanced what became known as the great man theory. He said some people have gone so great, so automatically they become leaders. Well, for traditional rulers who are born into royalty, and because it passes from father to son, so either they possess the quality or not, who knows? Or they will consult with some, you know what they consult, right? And they will say it's a study gap and it's a nest. Whether he has intelligence, he has all the qualities, so. They argue that history is shaped by individuals who possess extraordinary leadership qualities. Some are born that way. They're right. Some people are born that way. Intelligence, confidence, both, and all the qualities that were mentioned. They are full of confidence, determination, integrity, and sociability. These perspectives eventually lead to the enduring question that some people still ask today: are leaders born or made? I don't know what is your own answer. Whether leaders are actually born or they are made. Maybe one will proceed to be able to answer accurately. Many students simply hope the answer is born, because if leadership requires too much work, then the semester they become even longer than it already feels. Some people will say, maybe you are born for this. Yes, I can say yes, one way to that, because my own faith is spiritual. Tells me that God said, while you were in your mother's womb, I have known you and I have ordained you to be, for me to become governor one day. And some other person to become a prophet. So I have been known, so I was born to be. But over time, scholars began to question the sufficiency of trait-based explanation. Leadership will not be explained solely by personal characteristics. And that leads us to the skilled approach to leadership. Subjectivity and difficulty in delimiting or categorizing and even validating the list of the traits, as well as failure to take situations into account, gave rise to other leadership approaches. Now, the skilled approach viewed leadership from the leader-centered perspective in line with trait approach, but further emphasizes leader skills, ability, and capabilities, which were not inborn, but learned and developed. And 3 skills were identified in this: technical skill, which talk about knowledge and proficiency in specific project or task; human skill, which is the ability to work with others; then conceptual skill, ability to work with concepts and ideas in order to create vision and strategy for execution and accomplishment. For me, if you are even born as a leader, you have to go through education to be functional. So if you want to perform as a leader, you have to develop some other skills. The skill approach concludes that leadership capability and competence can be learned and developed over time through education, experience, culture. That's talking about informal education, intelligence, and environmental influences. All of these put together can make one to also develop leadership skills and become a leader. Now, the behavioralists also look at leadership management, and that gave rise to behavioral leadership theories of leadership. This led to the emergence of behavioral leadership theories, which shifted attention from who leaders are to what leaders do. It's not about the characteristics of who you are, but what you do. Researchers at institutions such as Ohio State University and the University of Michigan examined leadership behaviors and their impact on organizational effectiveness. These behavioral approaches demonstrated that leadership skill could be developed through training, learning, and experience. The approach laid emphasis on the behavior of a leader, which distinguished it from the trait model that emphasizes personality, characteristics, and the skill model which focuses on leaders' capabilities. According to Knockout 2022, the behavior of a leader included his actions towards subordinates in various contexts. What a leader does and how a leader acts in a given setting matters a lot. And two kinds of behavior were identified in this approach. One, task-oriented behavior. This is concerned with productivity and goal accomplishment. It pays attention to policy and decision, product development, workload, sales, volume, and output in general. That is the concentration. Task-oriented behavior. Then the other is relationship-oriented behavior. These kind of leaders concerns for they have leadership concerns for the followers, that the employees or subordinates' comfort in relation to each individual, among groups, and the work environment. How leaders relate with employees in building organizational commitment, trust, good working conditions that will lead to increase in productivity. It's also looked at by the behavioralists. Now, another important development in leadership scholarship was situational leadership theory, popularized by Paul Helsing and Kenneth Blanchard. This theory recognizes that leadership effectiveness depends on context. That if you possess all of these qualities and the skills that you have, what of the context? They also talk about the effectiveness of the leaders being determined by the nature of the followers. Different situations require different leadership approaches. The approach suggests that contextual and situation variances do influence the leader's research, process, and practice. Leaders can emerge in crisis situations. That is the role someone will play in terms of crisis, how he mobilizes people for positive change, can even make all the other people to choose him to come and lead them. Situational factors determine the appropriate style to be adopted by a leader to deal with each contest. So, a leadership style that is effective in one situation may be ineffective in another one. Leaders must therefore assess the contest they face, understand individuals they lead, and adapt their leadership approach accordingly. Because here we are looking at leadership and organizational performance. In today's complex and rapidly changing organizational environment, this insight remains highly relevant because the world is changing. Nothing is static in this world. Society evolves, and that evolution brings about new demands, new trends, and leaders must be able to also adapt to changes and how best they can lead different situations and contexts. Now, other leadership approaches that can be clearly seen is what we call path goal theory. Path goal leadership theory talks about followers and employees' motivation and payoffs in goal attainment. That is to drive performance, to drive productivity. That you have to motivate the followers. There have to be payoffs. This approach actually suggested that subordinates have to be motivated in a particular way in order to accomplish a set goal. The number of the payoff, types of payoffs, if the payoffs worth the while as motivation, be considered by the followers or workers in doing their work to that point of excellence. Then the other type is leader-member exchange. This is very, very important. We call it elements theory. This leadership concept that as a process that centers on the interaction between leaders and followers through what is called dyadic relationships. Here, communication was given prominence. Communication. That's where technology also comes in. Because to perform and achieve certain level of success, there have to be some other people have to be used because leadership will influence others to perform the task, to achieve a set objective. So the elements theory talks about the dyadic relation between leaders and followers or management and employees. Communication being a vehicle through which leaders and subordinates create, nurture, and sustain useful and mutually beneficial exchanges as important tools for leadership effectiveness and performance. These approach also identify two group members, which we call the in-group and the out-group members. You see, the in-groups are those, for example, if you have workers who are part of your team. Some will be working hours start at 8 a.m. Some of them will resume at 7 before the work starts. Clear their table, do some work before the work starts. Ready, fully ready. And when you get to the office, there is one set of people you see. And if the closing hour is 4:30, they don't just carry their bag and leave at 4:30. They stay back sometimes up to 5:30. So if the boss is still waiting in the office to start some job, I say, who is there? Somebody will show up. And naturally they work by themselves into what we call the in-group members. What do you think will be the disposition of the leaders towards such persons? Then the out-group, automatically what they try to be out-group. They are still members of the group, but call them the out-group member. Because they won't arrive until 15 minutes after 8. and they will close 4:25 or 4:30. And by the time the boss is working late, you won't see them. So will you blame the boss in that these are my in group and those ones are out group? So it's natural. It happens under that LMS period. Now let me quickly run the recent study, because it's a continuous study because of the dynamism of the society that we are in, probing further on the best form of leadership and the best way to lead and to achieve great success. I've examined and contrasted 4 types of leadership, which are transactional leadership, transformational leadership, authentic leadership, and strategic leadership. Transactional leadership is relationship based on trade, swaps or bargains, that is reward and punishment. If you do this well, you get this basically transactional. Then transformational leadership is a visionary leader, enthusiastic with ability to motivate by creating link with subordinates, and is concerned about the interest of all. It's not just basic transactions, but the interest of all, concerned with the good of all. Now, the authentic leaders being viewed in terms of genuineness and credibility through conviction, judgment, and originality of ideas. Leaders characterized through daily living in their values and ideas. The followers are watching and they see how you live. Then we look at the strategic leadership with dynamic capability or ability to anticipate and a vision into the future, thereby maintaining flexibility by thinking strategically to initiate changes that will create competitive advantage of such organization as competition begins to arise, because it will definitely arise. So strategic leadership think ahead, the vision, the position, the organization, building capacity to be able to withstand changes that will come later. Now, there are basically 3 styles of leadership. We are doing this so that you can find yourself. For those who will be leaders of tomorrow, we're just exposing you to all of this so that you are grounded in this. Everybody wants to be a leader and see how you can learn, how you can become. And then the responsibility on your shoulder as leaders and what tools you need to be able to lead well. Closely connected to leadership theories are the various leadership styles that scholars have identified. We have autocratic leadership style, where decision-making authority is likely centralized in one leader. It says it, that's all. It provides direction and maintains strong control over organizational decisions. In simple terms, this is the leadership style where the leader says, we will discuss this after we have implemented my decisions. Autocratic. We also have democratic leadership style, which encourages consultation and participation. Of course, consultation can sometimes be very interesting. In many organizations, consultation means asking everyone for their opinion and then going ahead and taking the final decision anyway. Under this model, members of the organization contribute their ideas and perspectives, strengthening collective ownership of organizational goals. Democratic leadership has often been associated with higher levels of employee satisfaction and organizational innovation. Now, the third category is laissez-faire leadership, which allows individuals significant autonomy to operate independently within their areas of expertise. This style is particularly common in highly specialized environments such as research institutions. This is Futa in the universities. We have a bit of laissez-faire, head of department, dean of faculties. These are professionals, societies, and they give them level of autonomy to operate within the global objective or goal of the institution. However, in practice, effective leadership rarely involves rigid adherence to a single leadership style. Despite the fact that all of these have been categorized, no one leader uses one of these theories. It's a combination of all. Most successful leaders adopt a combination of leadership styles, adjusting their approach depending on the circumstances they face. At times, the leader may need to be directive and decisive. At other times, consultation and participation may produce better outcomes. In environments characterized by highly skilled professionals, delegation may be the most effective approach. Thus, leadership effectiveness often depends on the leader's ability to combine and adapt leadership styles in response to changing situations. Now, let's look at leadership and organizational performance. The discussion on leadership naturally leads to the concept of organizational performance. Meta-analysis has shown that leadership was one of the key success factors that was significantly related to desirable organizational outcomes of success. This was mentioned in the work of George Ampikulu 2004, Wang and his colleagues in 2011, and Ubona and Harris in 2000. They all argue that success or failure of an organization, a group, or even country is dependent on the leadership effectiveness. This assertion was based on the assumption that there was a direct link between leadership and organizational performance. Every organization exists to achieve specific objectives. These objectives are usually expressed through the organization's mission and vision, statement, and strategic goals. Performance, therefore, refers to the extent to which organizations successfully achieve the objective for which it is established. Now, in modern management practice, organizational performance is frequently assessed through key performance indicators, KPIs. These are the numbers that tell leaders whether the organization is succeeding or whether they may soon need to explain some uncomfortable reports. These indicators provide measurable benchmarks that allow institutions to evaluate whether they are meeting their strategic targets. Now, management scholar Peter Drucker, often regarded as the father of modern management theory, emphasizes the importance of clear organizational objectives. And he says, what gets measured is what you manage. What gets measured gets managed. When you measure your performance and you have seen the growth or how your objectives are being achieved, you will need to manage it so that you sustain that level of success and, if possible, increase or advance on it. Without clearly defined goals and measurable indicators, it becomes difficult to evaluate organizational effectiveness. So leadership plays a central role in shaping organizational performance because it is the leader that provides direction by defining strategic priorities. They formulate policies that guide institutional action. They mobilize human and material resources. Most importantly, they inspire people to work towards achieving their shared goals and objectives. So you can see leadership is very, very critical in organizational performance. Even the most carefully designed strategy cannot succeed without the commitment and effort of those responsible for implementing it, that is the leaders and the followers. Effective leaders therefore build trust, motivate people, and create environments in which individuals are encouraged to contribute their very, very best efforts. In this sense, leadership functions as the driving force that converts organizational vision into measurable outcomes. Now let's come home to leadership and institutional performance in the University of Technology, such as we have here. Now, when these ideas apply within the context of the University of Technology, the relationship between leadership and organizational performance becomes even clearer. A University of Technology exists not merely to award academic degrees. Its mission is far broader. Its purpose is to produce skilled, innovative, and technologically competent graduates capable of contributing meaningfully to national development. I don't know if that is your mission or vision, but this is what it is my idea. And it should be part of what you should be preoccupied with. Final, not just certificate. Skilled, innovative, technologically competent graduates capable of contributing meaningfully to national development. Of course, every student who enters a university begins with a vision of graduation day, which is true, so that you can leave with your certificate. Somewhere along the journey between the first lecture and the final year project, they also discovered that technology programs involve a lot more mathematics than they originally expected, and sometimes more sleepless nights as well. I'm sure it's true of you, all of you, those who are undergraduates. In fact, the time engineering students reach their final year, their calculators have become their most loyal companions. Some students even trust their calculators more than their memory or brain. That's the In the modern global economy, education, information, and technological expertise are among the most important drivers of economic growth. Now, knowledge economy that is driving the advanced economy of the world today is basically starting on a cycle of education, highly skilled workers, and information communication technology. That is what is driving that is what we call knowledge economy, that is driving the major advanced economy of the world today. Institutions such as Federal University of Technology are very critical. And Uchedaga University also to open. By the way, I welcome the VC of OITech, Professor Ondo. Thank you for joining us. These institutions therefore play a critical role in developing the human capital required for industrialization, innovation, and national competitiveness. FUTA has long built a reputation for producing graduates who are not only intelligent, but also very resilient, which is exactly what happens when students survive engineering courses and laboratory sessions and other courses that are very, very demanding. In fact, at depth, many FUTA graduates believe that once you have survived engineering practicals and final year projects here, very few problems in life can intimidate you again. Because you have been built, you have gone through the rigors. What test will scare you? Because the world is being technologically driven. So you are actually the technology if you are allowed the training to go through you and if you have gone through the training. So nothing can intimidate you. The performance of such an institution can be evaluated through several key indicators. The quality and competence of its graduates, the relevance and impact of its research, its contribution to technological innovation, the global competitiveness of its alumni. We learned that some of the alumni have developed a lot of apps, fintech, and all of that. Congratulations to all of you. That means you are fulfilling, you are performing through the leadership of the institution. Many graduates of technology-driven institutions have gone on to make significant contributions to fields such as engineering, fintech, data science, manufacturing, and digital entrepreneurship. These achievements demonstrate how leadership within educational institutions can influence broader national development outcomes. Now, technology as a driver of organizational performance. In today's world, leadership effectiveness is increasingly linked to the use of technology. Not even at a place, an institution like the University of Technology. You want to lead, and you are not technologically savvy. How will you fit in? Technology has become one of the most powerful drivers of organizational performance. It enhances efficiency, improves communication. Don't forget, LMS we already talked about communication, as priority between leaders and followers of management and employees. Accelerate decision making and expand the capacity of organizations to operate across geographical boundaries. The world has become a global village through globalization, and what happens in one country has become affecting the other. Head changes within institutions are only being driven by technology. In the contemporary global environment, technology also plays a central role in globalization. Advances in communication technologies, particularly the internet and the World Wide Web, have transformed the world into what is often described as global village. Today, news travels so quickly that sometimes social media knows what has happened before the meeting discussing it has even finished. Because some of them may have access to my paper. Before I even conclude, the conclusion is also somewhere in UK and everywhere. Through digital connectivity, developments occurring in one part of the world can rapidly influence development elsewhere. Leaders today must therefore be technologically aware and technologically competent. Technology allows organizations to overcome the traditional limitations of time and distance. Tasks that once required extensive time and physical movement can now be completed almost instantly through digital systems. This way, technology compresses what scholars sometimes describe as space and time, allowing organizations to achieve greater productivity within shorter time frame. However, technology alone does not guarantee organizational success. It is a combination. Technology becomes truly effective when it is integrated into a broader leadership strategy. So you cannot separate success from leadership and what enhances what drive that performance success is technology. Therefore, leaders must integrate technology into their strategy to be able to achieve so much. Leaders must understand how technological tools can be deployed to improve efficiency, strengthen organizational capacity, and achieve institutional objectives. Technology should therefore be understood not as a substitute for leadership, but as a powerful driver that enhances leadership effectiveness and organizational performance. For us, or for me, in Ondo State, leadership example from Ondo State are put it. Leadership principles are not mere theoretical. They find practical expression in governance and public administration. In Ondo State, leadership has increasingly emphasized the importance of human capital development, education, and technological advancement as key drivers of long-term prosperity for our state. Investment in education, infrastructure, and economic development reflect the understanding that sustainable progress requires both visionary leadership and strong institutions. The presence of institutions such as Federal University of Technology at University of Science and Technology, Aiyedatiwa University, University of Medical Sciences, Ondo, and is soon to be upgraded for Rufus, Giwa, University of Agriculture, Science and Technology, represent important pillars of this developmental vision. Universities play a central role in producing the knowledge, skills, and innovation that drive modern economies. By strengthening the connection between education, innovation, and economic development, societies create the condition for sustainable growth. Now, leadership in the age of artificial intelligence, AI, this is the latest. Looking ahead, the relationship between leadership, technology, and organizational performance will become even more significant. Artificial intelligence, data analytics, and digital platforms are already transforming the way organizations operate. In fact, while some people are beginning to wonder whether artificial intelligence will replace leaders, some students, I don't know if you are part of them, are wishing that artificial intelligence will help them finish their certain assignments, even their projects. Unfortunately for you, there is another technology called Turnitin. It will expose you of plagiarism. Turnitin has been developing its own intelligence as well. So if you think you are smart, you want AI to help you to prepare your assignments and just download them, put it before your lecturer. You subject to Turnitin, whether it's original or you are plagiarized. Fortunately, leadership still requires wisdom, judgment, and emotional intelligence. Qualities that even the most powerful computer has not yet mastered. That is human. Future leaders must therefore possess not only traditional leadership competencies, but also the ability to navigate technological disruption. Very important. Educational institutions have a particularly important responsibility in preparing people for this future. I'm sure all our universities are doing this already. Students must acquire not only technical knowledge, but also adaptability, critical thinking, and leadership capability, because at one time or the other, at the time you leave the institution, you still grow to become leaders in your various areas of the devil. University must therefore become centers where technology, innovation, and leadership development intersect. All of these must be combined within the institution. It must all intersect. Technology, innovation, and leadership. In conclusion, leadership remains one of the most important determinants of organizational success. From shaping institutional vision to mobilizing people and resources, effective leadership plays a decisive role in translating strategic goals into measurable outcomes. In the modern world, leadership must also embrace technological advancement and innovation. Institutions such as Federal University of Technology Akure and other universities of technology occupy a strategic position in preparing the next generation of leaders who are knowledgeable, technologically capable, and globally competitive. At the Federal University of Technology Akure, the future of our society is quietly being designed every day, and also in laboratories, lecture hall, research center, and innovation hubs. Just provided one ability spec, and I know 2,000 laboratory hubs here. The engineers, scientists, innovators, and entrepreneurs sitting in classrooms today will become the architects of Nigeria's technological and economic future tomorrow. The true measure of leadership, therefore, is not only what we achieve today, but the kind of future we prepare others to build. There is a Yoruba proverb which says, "Omoti akoko uyogbe iti apota." So let's build our own so that we can develop the future for us. The child who is not properly trained will eventually sell the house that was built. This is why institutions of learning are so important. They shape the leaders who will inherit the future. The responsibility of leadership therefore extends beyond managing institutions per se. It involves shaping the future. And the future increasingly belongs to societies that are able to cultivate leaders who understand both people and technology. Leadership therefore remains both a science and an art. Science can be studied in books, but the art is usually learned through experience, sometimes the hard way. Because ultimately, technology may change the tools we use, but leadership will always determine the direction in which society moves. And if we get leadership right, in the future will not simply happen to us. We will shape the future. I want to thank you all for listening. God bless you.
position. Could you please rest it for now? A round of applause for Kotakwaya. I'd like to invite Vice Chancellor to make a presentation to our guest lecturer. Your Excellency, sir. Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you very much. We do not have the privilege of hosting a sitting governor every time. This will go well in the records and in the annals of our university. Your Excellency, sir, on behalf of the Federal University of Technology and Progress, we proudly present this honor to you as our guest lecturer. Thank you very much.
The student union have a small presentation for you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, sir. Thank you for this honor of being here with us today. First of all, on behalf of the whole Federal University of Technology and Progress students, we say a big thank you for all you have been doing for us thus far. We appreciate spending time at the schedule to be here today. We thank you for the roads that you did across the southeast and all, but still, we are still students and we have some demands, sir. First on our list, we have one of our own, a Futa graduate, a PhD holder, currently Comrade Opiano, who is contesting for the post of the national president. We seek your endorsement for him. Also, our student community are currently in darkness, and we would love if you could help us with 1 or 2 transformers for our students. Thank you very much.
Well, some requests were made earlier on by the VC and now the President of the Student Union Government. I want to say that we're going to collaborate with you and we're going to give support within the limited resources that we have. I know the measuring security that we want Amotekun most of the year, that we can do definitely that. Budget, if you can do that this year, otherwise we'll do next year. I say we look at our budget and we know we know the budget is government. And then, yes, poster. Well, we will talk to some investors because it's PPP, so that they can build because it's not beneficial. Both the institution and the investors so that they can build some hostel for our students. We will definitely talk to some investors. Maybe if I can come and invest. We have done some things for you, the road that we did. Honestly, yes, on asking, we supported that, but we believe that should be part of our His agenda so that we can feel it. And that is one of the infrastructure we have built. I think the other times when I went to this area, and I've already instructed the Commissioner for Energy, that is what to do. That's why we also have constant supply for electricity. So thank you so much once again for having me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. Unfortunately, His Excellency does not have time again to stay with us. But in 1 minute, I wish and I must recognize His Excellency the Deputy Governor, Dr. Aiyedatiwa. Thank you again for coming. Honorable Justice Orimisan Aiyedatiwa, Chief Judge of Ondo State. Honorable Hon, the APC State Chairman. Prince Hon, the Chief of Staff. Mr. Bayo, the Head of Service. Dr. Aiyedatiwa, SAN, Attorney General. Honorable Afolabi Adeswani, Commissioner for Culture and Tourism. CP Aiyedatiwa, the Commissioner of Police. Honorable Elder Aiyedatiwa, the Honorable Commissioner for Water Resources, and our own Professor Igbekele Ajilefu. I recognize every other person. Please forgive us, it's just for want of time. Our former principal officers here present will recognize it. Emeritus Professor Ola Sayide and Adebisi Balogun. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
We will rise for the future as well as the other national anthems. to leave the auditorium. After, we request all staff of FUTA and students to remain in the auditorium so people will get to them, while the protocol officers will lead our guests to where they should be. All staff of FUTA kindly remain seated in the auditorium. Some persons are coming to meet with you. All guests, we are the protocol officers. Kindly lead our guests to this side where I'm pointing to. Protocol officers. Please take your seats. Take your seats. While all invited guests, where are the protocol officers?
God bless you.